Good morning, everyone. So today is March 29th, no, March 30th, and I'm almost out of time to do a March garden tour and show you what's happening. But there's a lot going on and a lot that's changed in my garden this month, and so I wanted to get out here early in the morning and not all that and show you everything that's changed. So let me turn the camera around and I will show you all the pretty things. So I am starting over here because it's just getting light outside and the lighting will be better if I start over here in the corner. So this is my kids' room, and this blue salvia is ginormous and it's one of my favorite plants ever, and it's doing so great right now, and it does really well here without any irrigation whatsoever. I do have some irrigation running that way, but it's for a hibiscus back there that is just coming out of dormancy. So this one dies back in the winter and it's getting 4 new stalks on it. So that's exciting. That's one of those, I don't know, proven winners hibiscus. So that will be really pretty, big pink flowers. But this plant, I love it so much. I have a bunch of them in my garden, but this one is the oldest and it's the biggest by far. So this little corner is cute. I have so many leaves, I won't know what to do with. So those are all leaves, those are all leaves, that bin is all leaves. I've literally just dumped leaves on this whole thing because this I'm just going to be making it mulch, because it's just like utilitarian. Like I have my boat and the other little boat, and it just, the grass will never be nice. I'm not going to plant anything in it, so it is what it is. I dug up my potatoes and got a little harvest out of those. Those were my just random potatoes that popped up in there. My compost over there, and this is just a bunch of bigger stuff that we've been cutting back. I've been cutting back a lot of woody stuff. I'm just letting it dry out and then I'm going to burn it. So I'm leaving it in that little wagon. So one thing you'll notice is I have lots of quote-unquote weeds. These are weeds growing in my garden right now, but they are good weeds, and they're weeds I'm leaving. So that is why I'm not mowing them down. I have a lot of, in just this area alone, this is Virginia pepperweed. I have cudweed, toad flax. There's lots of things in here. Wood sorrel. And most of these things are a host plant to a native butterfly. So I'm not getting rid of them until they've all gone to seed. And it is what it is. And I don't think it looks bad. I mean, they're just taller than the grass. But this is cudweed, and you might notice it in your yard. It is a wildflower. It's not a showy wildflower, but it is a wildflower, and it is a host plant to one of our native butterflies. So it's very important that we try to leave some places that have, you know, weeds that we don't want, but it's necessary if we want butterflies in our garden. You gotta leave these things. And then Virginia pepperweed is actually used as a horseradish replacement. So you can eat this, and it really is called poor man's pepper in some places. It's really actually quite delicious. I want to make a, you know, like a pepper, like lemon pepper chicken or something, and use this on it. I think that would be cool. But this bed is filling out again. This is my firebush. It is gonna get really tall this year because it didn't die back to the ground. It's actually already getting some blooms on it, so I'm pretty happy about that. I have some mully grass. This is a silver buttonwood, which is a native plant. I have my mulberry tree right here. Try not to get my neighbor's yard. My mulberry tree, which actually does have a couple berries on it. I'm hoping to get more, but this is only its like first real year being in the ground, so we'll see. But it's branching out this time instead of just being whips. so that'll be nice. I came in and I seeded a bunch of different varieties of basil along the edge of this. Thai basil, purple basil, and cardinal basil, I believe. We have red salvia like popping up everywhere, of course. There's a bunch of calendula in there, and daffodils that I don't think are gonna bloom. I'm not sure what's wrong with them. I don't do anything to them, and I'm not going to, so if they don't thrive, they don't thrive. It is what it is. I have some pretty Shasta daisies, no, Gerber daisies. I think they're Gerber daisies here, and no, these are not a native flower, but they require almost nothing, and the color of that looked so good with the blooms of this Meyer lemon tree, and I'm happy to announce that I'm going to have lemons finally for the second time. The first time was when I first bought it, and after that, like 2 seasons in a row, it would just bloom and all of the fruit would fall off. So it was weird, like pollinating and like cold temperature like schedule, I think, did it. So once I put it in the ground, we are good to go. So there's lots of volunteer plants popping up everywhere. This is lance leaf coreopsis. That is popping up everywhere in my garden. This is another coreopsis that I don't remember if that's the native one or not. Look, there's a bumblebee. Look at him. This is a rattlesnake master. There's more coreopsis. There's more basil all in here. I have that little blue flower. That is a plumbago. Not the native plumbago, but I couldn't see myself getting rid of it, so I just tucked it in that corner. This is a big lemongrass here. Excuse me. Let's see. My newest addition is this little table, and I have more coreopsis. I planted sunflowers along the edge here, and only a few of them popped up, but they're the mammoth kind, so we'll see how that goes. There's an update on my mint pot. See, it's just taking over and I'm not doing anything to it. This plum, no, yes, it's a plum. Flatwoods plum is all leafed out again and pushing lots of new growth. So this is its second year in the ground and first year in this spot because I transplanted it. So I'm hoping that does well this year. My witch hazel tree, it was definitely dead, so I took that out. So there's no more witch hazel. I might try another one, but they're expensive, so we'll see if that happens. This is another huge coreopsis plant, and it's got buds starting on it. So by the next month, I'm going to have yellow all over my garden, so that'll be really pretty. This is my $25 bistro set, which I have these boards here because I can't sit in this without sinking in the ground because the ground is so like lush and like not moist. Yeah, it's moist from having all of these leaves on it for so long that I just sink right into the ground. So I have to come in and put some kind of base where we're gonna sit, but I haven't gotten that far yet. My oak leaf hydrangeas are all, leafed back out. They're gonna have branches this year. This one has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, at least 7 new branches coming from the bottom. So it should make for a fuller plant. The same with that one. I have all of these salvia blooming, and I don't have the heart to pull them out. So until I have other flowers blooming, they'll just bloom where they want to, and then I'll cut them back. And if they come back, they come back. If not, it's fine. But anything in the yard like this, is all mowable stuff, but I'm just leaving it until I have the heart to mow it. Here I planted some Seminole pumpkins, so those are there, and then I have another one over there in a little shadier spot. I'm trialing this since this is a pretty much undeveloped area. I can let this pumpkin ramble over here and it'll be perfectly fine. And I think it would look really cool to have, like hidden pumpkins all over the place. So that is what we're doing here. I did plant, I got some free dogwood and redbud trees. This is a dogwood tree and I forgot about it. And these are all volunteer velvet beans, so those will be going up the fence. But dogwood tree, and I don't expect blooms from it forever, so I really wasn't going to plant it in my yard, but since I still had it, I planted it. And so we'll see if it grows. So all of this is volunteer stuff, volunteer blanket flower, but the volunteers are the ones that do the best, so wherever they pop up, sometimes I just leave them because they do have a purpose. They serve our pollinators and our wildlife, so why not? That is my main goal. But this red salvia, I've seen hummingbirds on it already, lots of different butterflies, and this one is it's tall. I mean, I'm not tall, but whatever. So the beauty berries are all leafed back out for the most part. There's some bare spots, but those will fill in. I have some corky stem passion flower vine back there. But these plants are the original beauty berries on my property. I purchased from a nursery, and they were teeny tiny, and they've just gotten huge. But they produce so many berries and flowers, and the birds love them. So that is my main reason. Plus they make for a cool, backdrop, because they get pretty big and green. So love those. It's just such a pretty morning. That's why I decided to come out here early. Here's my shadow. So this part of the yard is what has changed the most. What's this pot doing? Nothing, just being messy. So this little strip is what I developed last year. It was about a 2 foot, maybe not even 2 foot in some spots, wide section all along the fence. Well, I came along and said, this slope right here, it's pretty sloped, and it would never hold grass. It would never hold any seeds because it's on such a slope, even if I composted it. So you know what? I said, getting rid of the slope, going to add mulch, make it a pathway. So now you walk in here, and then this will all fill out with this railroad vine. So this will be like a green ring this way, separating the fire pit. And then you walk through here around that way, and then there will be flower bed there, flower bed here, and then you just walk out that way. And I just thought that was a much better use of the space and, visually pleasing than just dead grass in the middle of the yard. So that's what I did, and it was a lot of work with all that mulch, but I got free mulch from my friend John, who owns a tree company, so I can't pass that up. I've been slowly developing, this area, and things are starting to bloom, but I have lots of volunteer, because I want to remember the date on stuff. I have volunteer cranberry hibiscus popping up all over, so I'm going to let them get a little bigger, and I'm going to go around and just, edit and take out the ones I don't want. I can move the transplants around, and it'll be good. I have some holy basil. This is a Simpson stopper that we will see. This is my Love Lies Bleeding amethyst. No, Love Lies Bleeding I don't remember. What is it called? Oh my god, I can't think. Anyways, it's huge and it has pretty pink flowers. I moved these little lemon cypress to the landscape. See, look, I have so many volunteers. This is either a pumpkin or, no, that might be a cucumber. I forgot. So I planted quite a few things along the fence. So, but look at it out there. There's my little decoy. I don't see them right now, but I hear hummingbirds. I don't see them, but I hear them all the time. They're in the yard constantly now, which is cool. So here's the start of this flower bed. There's more coreopsis going to bloom. This is a dwarf firebush. So this color and the green and the yellow, and then I have this like Dusty Miller, which is like a white blue, will all do really pretty. This is a bachelor button. There's another Love Lies Bleeding. Come on, what is it called? I'll put it up on the screen. This is a bachelor button. Those will be like blue or purple, maybe pink, I'm not sure. I have my pink salvia blooming. Those are really pretty too. I find they're not as robust as the red ones, but it might be because they're still newer in my garden. The red ones have been here spreading forever. Anyways, I don't know what I was saying because my girls came out here, but in here there's actually a lot of volunteer sunflowers. Like, I didn't plant these, and I don't know where they came from, like what sunflower they are, so we'll see. There's way more coreopsis blooming in here, or in here, so it's gonna be really full. It'll be pretty. More muley grass. This is a tomato that I grew last fall, and it lived all winter and barely did anything, and now it's got tomatoes all on it, so I'm gonna let it be. I had one tomato earlier in the late winter, early spring, and it was good, so I don't know what you are, but it's giving me tomatoes, so we're gonna leave it. There's another pumpkin there that I put. This is that other salvia. There's like 4 or 5 of them back here, and it's just gonna get huge, so can't wait for that. See, this is what they kind of do if they do die back. You can just cut them back and they just flush right back from the bottom. And then here, what are you eating? Benelli, stop it. Stop. Okay. This is where it gets different. So first it was just this little strip right here, and then I just widened it. That bird is loud. And it comes out and then encompasses the peach tree here. And then I've added 3 tomato plants, which are all looking really healthy. And I just painted these tomato cages black. I'm pretty sure these are a semi-determinate, so they're not going to get ginormous like a determinate tomato is. So hopefully these will cage them okay. But I painted these black, and see, they kind of just disappear when you're looking at the bed. They don't distract you. So those I like. And then I'm just trying to bring some of this, at first, like the first year, there's going to be a lot more stuff back there than it is up here, because this is mainly mulch. I've actually had to dig down and make little wells to plant these in. But in Florida, mulch breaks down so fast, it won't be like this for long. But we have the peach tree with some... Anyways, interrupted again because my brain doesn't work. And that is purple alyssum underneath my peach tree. There's another one of those purple salvias, tomato plants. These are tiny muley grasses. I don't know if they'll live or not. If they don't, I'll just get more. But since there's nothing in here, I'll walk back here. These are all, well, this is fleabane. This is a native wildflower. And there's a bunch of it blooming out there by the pond. But this one popped up in my yard, so I'm excited about that. Love that. I love that flower. There's a lot of milkweed coming back up in this bed. That's an artichoke. We'll see if that lives. But yeah, there's a lot of milkweed that is perennial in this bed. So that'll be, coming up this season for the monarchs. There's another grass. Forgot the name of that grass. I think I might have a video on it. I need to go back and look. I think it's called purple tridens. So it should get pretty large and have like purplish hue to it. I planted some cleome out here. So cleome is a flower, or called the spider flower, but it also is a trap crop for certain, bugs. So I'm trialing it in different areas of my garden to see if it works like that. And then, just more of the same going down. I did plant sunflowers along the border, so those should be popping up. And then more of the salvia. And then this is one of the elderberries that I transplanted, and it's doing really well. It was actually one elderberry plant, and I got 2 plants out of it. So I'm looking for that really lush, dense look back here. So that's why everything's so close together, on top of the fact that salvia spreads like crazy. So I should let my daughter sell some of these pink salvia in her her plant nursery. We got like another tomato, like I said. I had some okra seedlings. I don't know if they're going to make it out here. I kind of popped them in the garden wherever I just had some room, because I needed to get them out of the trays. They were being attacked by caterpillars and whatnot. This is another mulberry tree. It's the same variety. I just cut this one way back to see what it would do if I cut it back. And obviously it's way more bushy, but I haven't seen any flowers on this one yet. So let's see how that goes. I have lots of native bee balm coming back, kind of spread out in my garden. All this salvia. I have, let's see, that is bee balm there. That is a starry rosinweed. I have native milkweed. I have a purple Stokes aster right there. So I'm hoping I get Stokes aster other places, because that plant spreads, but I haven't noticed it spreading too aggressively yet. And then the rest of this border, kind of follows around. I'm going to put logs like I did there, but I didn't have any more. I have some chamomile growing right there. I had some delphiniums hold on, and they never bloomed at all, but they multiplied still underground. So I dug them up and I just kind of put them in this bed. There's 5 or 6 spread out back there. There's 3 right there. So we'll see if they do anything. These are our society garlics. A few plants of those. That is a spiderwort. That's a native wildflower. More self-seeded blanket flower, some sunflowers, some more native milkweed right here. And then lots of red salvia, lots of pink salvia, some more grasses, another purple salvia. It's kind of just a mixture all the way down. And then we get to the native, corner. I mean, I have native plants all over my garden, but this is basically just does what it is. It's just a native garden all through and through. I start with this mully grass here, and there is some creeping sage all along this garden, and goldenrod popping up. This is another American elderberry. This is my swamp pot that has brown savory, which is trailed down to this pot the stem has broken off and now it's just in this pot instead. There might be a couple pieces left in there, but those are my cuttings of elderberry. So I might have Aubrey sell those in her stand. This is brown savory. It's like a swampy ground cover native to Florida. And then, yeah, we just have a big muley grass. What in the world? Oh, jeez. Benelli, stop eating stuff. I'm sitting right in the way of it. There's a big muley grass there, coupled with the elderberry, the beautyberry, and then I have another grass there. There is the coral honeysuckle, which is doing great in this spot. I've got lots of goldenrod all over the ground. So in the fall, this area will be nice and like covered with yellow flowers. The other beautyberry, I don't know why I keep saying elderberry. Then I have passion fruit popping up in this bed. It never takes off. I think I need to put that in a sunnier spot because it gets eaten by the caterpillars so fast that I can't keep up with it. But that's what it's there for, ultimately. There's a Benelli. All this creeping sage is the ground cover in here. And then I have a pigeon pea. But right under here, this little plant right here is a native milkweed called world milkweed. And it actually is the only plant I've planted here, and it never spreads really, and it comes up every year. I don't even ever see the caterpillars eating it, but it's just the most dainty milkweed. You would need hundreds of them to make an impact. You can't even tell that it's there, so it's fine. I'm going to eventually come by and mow this stuff because it is a little unruly, but that's the nature of the game. I am letting it go to seed first, so the seeds will distribute over here. This is my daughter's little garden. It's so cute. And she has bok choy coming up, lots of cosmos coming up. There's chamomile in here. There's zinnias in here. So it's fun. I think we'll make her bok choy soon before something eats it. But yeah. We made her a plant nursery yesterday. Before I go in the vegetable garden, I might do this in 3 parts. Who knows? Here is the start of the porch. This is one tomato plant. Like, legitimately, a tomato plant. This is called Everglades tomato. And they get massive, and they don't carry diseases like the other tomato plants do. They normally grow in the fall through the winter and then starts fruiting in the early spring. It is just an amazing tomato plant if you're in Florida. It, of course, it has little tiny tomatoes on it, but it is worth having because they don't get diseases as easily. I mean, they will, but you just get so many tomatoes. It's so fun. Hold on. But yeah, so this is my little dry riverbed. There's some of those gladiolus popping up over there. I cut back this pigeon pea because it was ginormous, and it still is ginormous. But once that tomato plant dies back, this will be a whole riverbed again. On the porch, my pots are doing pretty well. This pot has a nasturtium in it that is doing great. This I seeded with some basil, I think. I have some bok choy in here. I just harvested some of the first ones last night for soup. This is the toothache plant that we put in the winter sowing containers. And what you do, it's like a medicinal plant, but the Indians apparently, from what I'm remembering. They would use this, and if you chew on this, and I've tried it, it does numb your mouth. So use it wisely. But this is the toothache plant. And then there's some thyme and a bunch of seedlings, like herb seedlings, all throughout this. Some more alyssum. And this other one is exactly the same. I'm just testing which one looks better because I have different soil in each one. So this one definitely has more robust bok choy. I don't really notice a difference in the other things yet. This one's dead. But so we'll see. Normally there's a little frog that has been sleeping inside the bok choy. I don't see him right now, but so cute. I have a little pot of basil and thyme. My foxgloves are basically done. I'm trying to let them, finish their life cycle and go to seed because I want to plant them and maybe they'll come back. I don't know. These are some heliotropes. I'm just trying these for the first time. They're not native, but they are really pretty and they smell like vanilla. There's some more of the foxglove, but we'll see. I have lots of chamomile in these pots. I'm waiting to go to seed. So this, if you see me taking video and that stuff is popping up or showing, those are, I sprinkled beneficial nematodes around my garden to help with spider mites. So we will see if those work. And then this garden is basically kind of taking over itself. This is mullein. So this is it can be invasive in Florida, so be very careful planting it. But it is a highly medicinal plant, and I've wanted to try it for a while now, and I finally did it. And it's got the furriest leaves ever, but it's so pretty. But basically, it is a very strong respiratory medicinal plant. So the first year it grows like this. The second year, it puts on a stalk with yellow flowers. You can harvest the yellow flowers, but be very careful if it goes to seed. You don't want it to take over and become invasive. So harvest all the flowers, which are also medicinal, and then maybe let one flower go to seed if you want to save your own seeds. But I would bag the seeds so it doesn't spread. And I have some agastache in here. These are bearded tongue. I think it's native penstemon is what they are. But this is a Florida native wildflower. So these pop up every year. There's some volunteer sunflowers, of course. So much red salvia. Yeah, I planted some mammoth sunflowers. Here's another mullein plant. Look how big they are. It's giant. I have, of course, goldenrod, and that is a native petunia. And yeah, and a lemongrass here. So everything is doing so well, looking so pretty. I just love it. If I could stay out here and just stare at my yard all day, I would. But I can't.